Regions and communities in Great Britain reacted with outrage to the low compensation payments for EU funds after Brexit. Welsh First Minister Marc Drakeford said his country would receive £1 billion less than it would have received from the EU over the 3 years, and also had less say in how it was used. Overall, the relevant government fund will pay out £2.6 billion over 3 years instead of the £1.5 billion per year from Brussels, the independent newspaper reported on Thursday. Conservative Prime Minister Boris Johnson had promised to at least compensate for the loss of EU payments for less prosperous regions. The Levelling Up program, which means the equalization of living conditions in the country, is one of Johnson's core promises. In doing so, he also wanted to convince voters who traditionally tend to support the Social Democratic Labour Party. Northern England, Wales and Scotland are home to many disadvantaged and impoverished regions, while London and the south of the country have a higher standard of living on average. The minister responsible, Michael Gove, also justified the lower payments by saying that some regions would receive money from Brussels until 2024. But an influential coalition of business and civil society in London disagreed. EU grants would only benefit existing projects. The opposition Labour Party accused the government of another broken promise. If anyone could keep count, please let me know. I lost count. Scottish Business Minister Ivan McKee has said the UK government's Shared Prosperity Fund fails to deliver promised funding for Scotland following the UK's exit from the European Union. New arrangements published this week will see £32 million allocated to Scotland for 2022-23, £151 million short of the £183 million estimated to be an appropriate replacement for EU structural funds. Since 2016, ministers have tried to engage constructively with the UK government to ensure the Shared Prosperity Fund aligned with the Scottish Government national aims and ambitions. However, Scottish ministers have been given no role in deciding how funding is allocated and which projects deliver the maximum benefits. Mr. McKee says this undermines the devolution settlement and does not recognise the authority of the Scottish Government in devolved areas. And commenting on the launch of the fund, Mr. McKee said, "The UK government's Shared Prosperity Fund fails to deliver replacement funding which was promised to Scotland, meaning communities across the country will miss out on around £150 million of investment in 2023 and 2022. This demonstrates exactly why levelling up means losing out, as Scotland will receive considerably less funding than before Brexit. EU funding has supported infrastructure projects and community initiatives across the country since the 1970s, with Scotland receiving and delivering over £6 billion of EU structural funds. Transformational projects such as the University of the Highlands and Islands and the European Marine Energy Centre in Orkney have brought significant benefits to businesses and communities. It is hugely disappointing that future projects with as much potential may lose out. Since 2016, the Scottish Government has tried to engage constructively with the UK Government to ensure this fund was delivered in a meaningful way, consistent with the devolution settlement and aligned with our national economic aims and ambitions. However, the UK Government has undermined devolution by failing to give the Scottish Government a decision-making role, which ultimately fails to meet the needs of Scotland's communities. The Shared Prosperity Fund will see Scotland, as I said, allocate £32 million in 2022 and 2023, £55 million in 23-24 and £125 million in 24-25. Even the third year of funding delivers less than Scotland received before the UK's exit. The Scottish Government has calculated a sum of £162 million per year would be needed to replace the European Regional Development Fund and European Social Fund, increasing to £183 million per year when LEADER funding and the EU territorial cooperation programs are added in. So, once again, talking about the mean EU, and what's far more important, talking about all those promises Boris Johnson made for his big election win in 2019. And I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.